the weekend I chose to drive it to the Panthers game, it was like a balmy 17 degrees, and I figured it probably wouldn't start, so that didn't happen. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for remembering that.
That's great.
What's going on in your guys' world? Who wants to start?
Well, there's been a lot of talk that the Fords might be really fast qualifying tonight. Apparently some changes. I don't know if it affected the aerodynamics or horsepower the most, but how confident are you that either yourself or Chris could make a run for the pole here?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, literally no idea what to expect qualifying. I know that the Hendrick cars have been on the pole like last 25 races here. Jeff, what's the stat? Yeah, I mean, it feels like every week or every year we come to Daytona, those cars are on the pole. So I wouldn't count anybody out there. But I mean, we've worked on our stuff, but so has everybody else. Everybody's worked on their cars to be better. So I don't know what to expect. Hopefully it's a great result for us in qualifying. But outside of qualifying in the front row, it doesn't matter. So once the duel gets started, you kind of laugh at yourself of why did I worry so much about that? So yeah, we'll go see.
What's the difficulty level if you get shuffled back with this car and trying to get back to the front, compared to the old one?
Yeah, I think, Jeff, it's a little more difficult to get back to the front than the old car was, for sure. You have to really be meticulous and make all the right moves. The car doesn't side draft like the old car did. It reminds me a lot more of I ran a truck here one or two times, and it reminds me a lot more of the truck races there, where when you fall to the back, you're just really a dogfight to get back to the front.
And so how does that change your strategy?
Well, I think it just means you can't lag in the back. The Gen 6 car, I think there were a lot of races where you could just run in the back and it was never an issue. But this car, you can't do that.
How much of a difference does no practice make?
I don't know. I think having no practice is certainly different. I'm not sure exactly how to feel about it. I think for qualifying, it puts more of an emphasis on the team, because if something's not right with the car, you don't get a chance to fix it before the big lap or even for the duel, right? You don't get a chance to. Normally, you'd come here, you'd practice. The guys would come back and put the car in jack stands, look underneath it, and there was a leak or vibration or whatever it might be. They would quickly address it and be ready for the next event, whatever that might be. And obviously that's not the case without practice. So I think it puts a lot of emphasis on the mechanics and so forth to be right. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Being no practice, is there more pressure on you because of that, with this race being so big, or is it just?
I don't feel any more pressure without having any practice before qualifying. It's just different.
So Denny said that you're one of the best super speedway racers in his opinion. I mean, what does it mean to have one of your peers point that fact out?
Yeah, it's flattering, but candidly, I would take his resume over mine at this time. He's got 3 Daytona 500s, and I've got 6 Talladega wins, which is great. But I'd like to have a Daytona 500 win to go with it. So, been fortunate. I've had some good races and I've had some bad races on play tracks, a little bit of everything in between, and just really hungry to bring this one home. And been so close the last few years. It's been painful to walk away, not necessarily empty-handed, but without the big trophy for sure. I guess in my own eyes, to make that list, you have to have the 500 trophy.
To expand off of that, Kevin and Kyle Busch were just talking about how so much is involved to winning any super speedway race, let alone the 500.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm assuming you'd agree with that. But looking at some of the past years where you've had some close chances at it, what do you think is kind of that extra edge that you need, or is it just you flip the coin?
Yeah, some of it's been coin flip, some of it's been, hey, I wish I would have made a different move. I think all the scenarios have been a little different, candidly. I don't know, it just feels like the Daytona is a harder race to win, or it's been a harder race for me to win than Talladega. You have to be willing to make bolder moves here at Daytona. And generally speaking, I think drivers are willing to do more to win the 500 than they are to win anywhere else. And that tends to lead to a lot of accidents that you can't control.
Last year you got off to a really good start here and left with a lot of high hopes for the season.
Mm-hmm.
How disappointing was it that it kind of tapered off?
Yeah, I mean, Daytona is just not a good indicator for anyone on what to
Yeah.
expect for the season. I don't think it ever really has been. And so for us, obviously we had a great speed weeks, and we all wanted to believe that meant we were going to have a great, campaign throughout the entire 22 season, and that didn't materialize. It just doesn't really connect to what most of the other tracks take to run well. And that's not necessarily a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a reality. But, for us, certainly didn't have the year we wanted to have last year, but we're in a significant rebuild process, and I don't like to use it as an excuse, but it is a reality, and we've done things to go backwards in order to go forwards, and I'm hopeful that that will bear fruit here this year.
Do you feel you're getting a little more of your thought process involved in the team?
Yeah, I mean, again, I hesitate to build in any excuses. But I've kind of lived this ride once before with, once or twice before, to be honest, with different teams I've been with, and there's just no light switch. There's no, hey, we're going to do this, because you don't get beat by one thing. You get beat by 1,000 little things that aggregate up into one big thing. And so the process of fixing 1,000 little things is daunting, and it's very time-staking. And so, I would say that, we fixed a lot of them, but we're not, anywhere near perfect by any means.
This is Austin Dillon, driver of the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.